after Britney Spears scandal, now let's go to the weather with Adam Gostinia.
Your local forecast is brought to you by Pull-Ups with Easy Open.
Thank you, Phil. So today's forecast is going to look a bit like it is right now. It's been snowing a bit in the morning and will continue to snow later on in the afternoon. Temperatures right now are at minus 8 degrees, and that should be continuing to fall down towards the night and evening. And due to the strange weather in Europe, we're going to be talking to a weather specialist, Ante Gardner. So stay safe.
That are curious about these strange weather patterns we're having lately, we have Ante Gardner, a meteorologist, here to explain it for us. Welcome. Okay, so Ante, my first question is, do you have any explanation for these weather patterns we're having?
Indeed, these weather patterns occur due to a meteorological term called convection. Convection is pretty much the movement of fluids where hot, less dense fluids go up, while cool, more dense fluids go down. Looking at a diagram we have here, the beginning of this cycle occurs through the sun that heats the moist surface on the bottom right here. After it's heated, it goes into a low pressure point where hot, wet air starts going up. As it starts going up, condensation and precipitation occurs in a high pressure point a bit higher in the atmosphere. Because this is happening, it starts moving again into a cool, dry air point, which is again low pressure. Because this is cool air has a tendency to go down in the atmosphere. It turns again into warm, dry air on top, mainly because it interacts with the moist surface being heated by the sun. So looking at this, notice that there's a huge change between low and high pressure points on each side of this cycle. And notice that the cycle begins all with the sun heating this moist surface.
Wow, this is very interesting. So it is safe to say that the sun drives convection just like all other processes on Earth.
Absolutely. All weather processes occur due to the sun.
Wow.
Indeed.
Be ready for all changing light conditions. Here's the regional weather forecast brought to you by Transitions Adaptive Lenses.
So today's forecast for the sailors in the Baltic region will be very difficult. Today's wind speeds have been going very high up toward 25 kilometers. And it's going to be very tough for sailors, so just be cautious about that. We're going to be talking about the wind current and all that soon too in our special program. And so for the sailors coming up to the Baltic regions, going to Scandinavia, it's going to be...
For our viewers there that are sailors and lovers of the sea, they have been finding out that it is very dangerous right now. Do you have any idea why this is?
Indeed. It is very difficult for sailors to go sailing right now in northern Poland due to various water currents.
And do you know why this is? I mean, is there any reason?
Actually, I do. On this diagram, we have presented how the water currents work, as well as how they interact with wind currents. What happens is, right under the surface of the water, the water current will go evenly, or fairly evenly, with the wind current. It will sink down as it turns into colder water, just like in convection, move under the surface of the current, and move back up as warm water, and continue this process. This is very similar to convection, as it does form a continuous cycle and never stop.
Oh, that's actually very interesting. Are there any other variables that affect this?
Yes, water currents are affected by temperature, the Coliosis effect, waves, the continental formulation on Earth, and various different variables.
Oh, you mentioned the Coriolis effect. What is that exactly?
Okay, so the Coliosis effect is pretty much how the Earth rotates and keeps these water and air currents moving a bit differently than they usually would. What happens is if water and air currents are going one way, when the Earth is rotating, it will actually slightly change this effect. If the water or air current may be going one way, one may be moving slightly differently, depending on how the Earth is rotating.
Oh wow, that's very interesting. So, because of the Earth's rotation, the ocean currents go a slightly different direction than the wind.
Indeed.
Right? That's great. Thank you very much for the interview.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed our special report with Adam Gostinia, our weatherman, and Ante Gardner, our meteorologist. Next, you have a chance at winning a brand new iPod Nano. If you have all the questions to our following quiz and call us at 661-227-422, you may win a brand new iPod Nano.